Hey everyone, it's Yes Vic Angel back with another video. I really want to keep consistent. I'm going through a few things right now in my personal life, but I've been wanting to do this, which is me reading Confessions of a Video Vixen by Katrina Steffans. I had read this digitally, but when I was going through stuff at my late grandmother's house last year when we were clearing it out, I found this physical copy of it, which I just find hilarious. Um, but I'm just going to read. So it was like a really scandalous book if you don't know anything about it, but the first few chapters of it are really good, and it explores her like upbringing and like being in the Virgin Islands and kind of what led her to um, being a model and everything of that sort. I know gum chewing isn't good for your teeth or anything, but I personally like ASMR videos that are soft spoken with gum chewing, so hopefully this finds the right audience, if at all. Um, I'm gonna check the sound real quick, so I'll be right back. Okay, let's get started. Introduction. No shame in my game. Like so many young girls, I grew up wanting to be famous. I used to watch television and dream about the Beverly Hills lifestyle seen in all of my favorite films. I wanted to live below that Hollywood sign and drive down Sunset Boulevard and over Mulholland Drive in a Mercedes Benz while wearing a designer scarf and huge black sunglasses. I wanted to be known by the rich and famous and be seen lunching with the in crowd. I wanted to live where they lived and do what they do. I wanted to belong. I reached most of my goals, but I didn't do it in a conventional way. I did it using the oldest trick in the book, sex. I am not always proud of what I did, and there are things that I would do over if I could, but I made the best out of what I started with: an abusive mother and absent father. I didn't write this book to excuse my past. I sat down to write this book because I think my story can serve as a warning to anyone aspiring to the kind of life that I have led, and there are plenty of young people trying to do just that. Where young girls once aspired to be models and ballerinas, they now aspire to be hip hop video girls and the next hot girl in the hottest artist video. Having lived that life, I can say it's not everything it's cracked up to be. My hips have swayed and popped on MTV while I danced on tabletops and poolside in some of your favorite videos. I've had sex with some of the most delicious and insatiable men in the world. Heads of music labels, NBA stars, and Hollywood's A-list, to say nothing of the emperors of hip-hop. But there's an underside. If sex and drugs went hand in hand with rock and roll, they are just as rampant in hip-hop. I wouldn't call this book a tell-all since there are many details I have kept to myself for the sake of not embarrassing some of the people I still associated with me. Details such as which one of my music industry suitors I caught in bed with his male lover, and which of my NBA exes often kept track of me by using the OnStar device placed in the Mercedes Benz he bought me, many times sending his associates to retrieve me from vacations and nights on the town. Yet, in the middle of this wild ride that I call my life, I was met with challenges which could have ruined me if it had not been for the power of change. I am writing my story because I've seen too many 14-year-old girls dressed up like their favorite pop icons, and young women dying to be thin or saving up for the new pair of breast implants that they are sure will make them stars. Young women who look up to me and women like me and ask to be plugged into the same circles I desperately try to escape. I have so much firsthand information to offer and need those young women to know that there are other directions to take. There are always better choices than most of the ones being offered to women today, better choices than the ones I have made. The top reason a woman finds herself in a rap video, sprawled, undressed over a luxury car while the rapper is saying lewd things about her, is a lack of self-esteem. I know it sounds cliche, but no one who values, loves, or knows herself would allow herself to be placed in such a degrading position. I don't know about that, personally. It just might not be that serious. Finding myself in learning, well, I'm interjecting, but if the lyrics are heinous, then no. But being half dressed on the car, that could be just their choice. Finding myself in learning to value who I am was one of the biggest hurdles I had to overcome. Before my, quote, video girl, unquote, career, I was known in some circles as a stripper. Others knew me as Superhead, the insatiable lover of many Hollywood stars, sports figures, and some of music's most influential performers and executives. None of that is who I really am, nor does it tell the whole story. Along my journey, there are things that I've seen and overheard which could tarnish and even demolish the reputations of some of these artists. I've realized then that I had a power which had nothing to do with my body or my looks or my sexuality. I had information usually confined to members of the good old boys club of the industry. I had been allowed behind those doors as a modern day Mata Hari. The days of MC Light, Yo-Yo, Sister Soldier, and Salt and Pepper have faded away. Our queen, Latifah, has broken new ground in another sector, but has left her place on the throne of hip-hop empty, waiting to be filled. We live in a world where the only goals at the end of the day are profit and top 10 spots on the Billboard charts. Members of the industry are being rewarded for selling the most records, destroying in the process the most beautiful thing about us as a culture, our girls and young women. It was so easy to be drawn in and dominated by it all. Music videos occupied only a short year and a half of my life. Wow. But the picture and the purpose are much larger than that. Magazines, music videos, films, and television continuously fill the heads of young girls with the visions of perfect bodies, sex, and money. Parents are often either absent or uneducated or both, rendering them largely unaware of what's going on right in their own living rooms. That little girl whose head was filled with those deceptive visions of wealth and fame is me, all grown up and ready to tell what I know. Okay, we're at 8 minutes. I'm just going to do the introduction. If this is interesting, then I'll start reading it from chapter 1. Death and Life. It starts out like October 2001. I was lying on the hard, cold floor in the bathroom of the famous Chinese bistro Mr. Chow in Beverly Hills. It is one of the most upscale and renowned restaurants in the world, yet I was at the lowest point in my life. With my head next to the toilet, I was alone in debt with no friends and no hope. So, we'll keep reading, maybe. You tell me. Alright, I'll see y'all soon.